Tonight on the Rocky Mountain Football League, we're going to talk all about this next upcoming season. But we can't talk about this season without talking about last year's champions. Last year in the Toilet Bowl Championship, Dead Pancreas Gang ended up beating Gridiron Warriors to get the first pick in the draft this year. In earning his 6th championship, Razor City Cowboys defeated Rainbow Herbert in the championship game, and he'll have the 10th overall pick. One more thing to mention about last year before we move on to this year. Last year we added 2 new teams, Jackson Lohman with Waddle Attack and Megan Milliron with Kirko Chains. Ironically, both managers have changed their team names for this upcoming season. I hope it does them well, but only time will tell. But first, let me introduce Shaylee Milliron, last year's Toilet Bowl champion and first overall draft pick. Shaylee, thanks for joining the show.
Hi, Jason, thanks for having me again this year on the show. I always love coming back.
What is one thing you're looking forward to in this upcoming season?
I would say one thing that I'm looking forward to this season is, I think, the different dynamic. We have a few new teams this year that I'm excited to see how they play in the mix. I'm also just excited to definitely grow, definitely do better than last year. Didn't have a very successful ending last year, so really trying to start strong, but I think last year starting strong was also kind of something that I just need to look at, whether that's players, whether that's, making sure that I don't have any key players on my bench, things like that. I think sometimes you forget about it. But I think I'm just looking forward to another great year, another year that we can have fun together, have good, healthy competition, and also, like I said, introduce those new teams, and I'm sure that we will welcome them with open arms this season too.
For my second question, thinking of all the teams in the league this year, who are the 2 teams you really want to beat?
Top 2 teams. We have a great league. There's healthy competition all around. I definitely would say a team that I would definitely like to beat this year. Gridiron Warriors, I beat her last year in the Toilet Bowl, but I think that she's just such a healthy competitor. I'd be okay with beating her again just because she had some solid players, didn't have a very solid team at the end of the year just for circumstances, but she was always healthy competition, so I always had to really look at things and make sure that I could get the dub when I was playing her. Razor City Cowboys, probably really want to beat him as well. I'd say just kind of knocking off some of the male contenders. I think that would be definitely something that I would look forward to, just because we do have a lot of male energy, but we also have a lot of great women energy in this league as well. And so I think anyone, I'm willing to, put on my big girl pants and do my best to beat the competitions.
With the number 1 pick in this year's draft, can you give us any insight onto who you might be drafting or from what position?
Great question, Jason. I definitely think this question, I'm not going to give much. With the number 1 pick, it could go any which way. Definitely looking at a lot of different things, but I never go for favorites. I never go for maybe who people would expect. When in doubt, I'm gonna pick the player that I definitely think that my team would succeed with. Definitely not gonna give any insight into that, unfortunately, just because that creates healthy competition. You never know when the draft comes who that first pick is gonna be. So definitely looking at a couple players, going back and forth, but at the end of the day, gonna go with my gut, and we'll see where that gets me this year. Thank you, Jason. Thank you for having me on today, and we'll see you when the draft day comes.
Now let's send you out to Arrowhead, where Chuck is standing by on scene. But first, Chuck, I hear you might have a guest with you.
Thanks, Jason. I'm out here at Arrowhead for the kickoff game, and I have a guest with me. Guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
The name's Wally Wallaby Fitzroy, and I'm not gonna lie, this stadium, I want to throw up all over it.
Wally, so did you play in our league last year?
I did play.
Was there a team name that you had? Because Wally Wallaby isn't in there.
I think it's pretty obvious, but I went by the name Rainbow Herbert. Go Chargers.
Well, the reason why we have Wally here is Wally's actually going to go through this year's draft order. Wally, take it away.
All right, drum roll please. Coming in with the first pick, she won in the Toilet Bowl last year. It is going to be Dexcom Destroyers.
Ooh, scary name.
New name, not a new face. Number 2, we got Gridiron Warriors. Number 3, we have Waddle This Way.
Ooh, I like the waddle.
Number 4, we got Say What. Number 5, we got a new dad, but it's his second year with this name. We got All Riled Up.
All riled up.
With the 6th pick, we got Born to a Win.
Wait, what was that again?
Born to a Win.
To a win, huh?
Yes. Number 7, she had to change her name because they got rid of their quarterback. We got Skull.
Skull.
Vikings fans out there. Number 8, we have To Affinity and Beyond. Number 9, we have, well, what can I say, Rainbow Herbert coming in at that pick. Number 10, we have last year's champion, Razor City Cowboys.
Ooh, I already had a good championship last year.
It was a good championship indeed. Don't know if the Cowboys will do that good this year though.
Yeah, they look pretty bad.
Alright, number 11, we have All Tua Well.
I'm getting kind of a Tua theme here.
Yes, I see a theme with this family. It's, I would say, Tua Extreme, if I must say.
That's a good one.
It's a real knee slapper. Alright, and then last but not least, we have a new face to the league.
Who is that name?
His name is Tampa Tom.
Tampa Tom, as in Tom Brady?
As in the Tom Brady.
Didn't he leave the league a couple years ago?
He might have. I don't know if he got the memo though with that one.
Gotcha.
He did, in fact, he did buy a ring this year. But it wasn't a championship ring, it was a different ring, if you know what I mean.
Huh, yeah, I don't know what you mean. All right, Wally, well, thanks. Do you have any insight to this year? What kind of strategy you're looking for?
This year's all about strategy. We got lots of good players in the league. I'm thinking if you're smart, first round you go for a running back or a wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, running back.
I would save the quarterback. There's too many good ones out there. I would save them for the second round, or at least the end of the third. You'd be safe to get a good quarterback then, but you might only get one, so be smart on when you're drafting them.
Yeah, be smart.
I think we all know who the first pick is going to be of this year, but if you don't know, his name goes Christian McCaffrey. He was an amazing player last year for my team, and I think our number 1 Dexcom Destroyers has already dibsed him. The second pick, and on, we don't know who it will be, but we do have our guesses.
Yeah, it's a really strange strategy, especially with 12 teams this year. You probably won't have a lot of A-plus players sitting on your bench. So on your bench is probably going to be some B's and C's. So
absolutely.
Yeah, and thinking about the snaking draft, so the first draft pick goes to Dexcom Destroyers, and then it's going to be 25 picks later, she gets a pick again. So,
absolutely.
Well, Jason, that's all we have here. Let's throw it back to the studio.
Yeah, Chuck, this season's going to be all about parity. As the talent pool will be pretty thin with 12 teams, with 14 players on each team. That's 168 players off the board. With adding not 1 but 2 new teams this year, I had the opportunity to interview them in the studio. First up is Emma Lohman. She's the manager of the team All Too Well. Hi Emma, I'm Jason from the Rocky Mountain Football League Network. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me, Jason.
Emma, with you climbing out of your mom's shadow, is that exciting?
It is exciting. I'm excited to show the league that I was the one making the right decisions.
With this season, as a first-time manager, what are you most excited for?
I'm most excited for taking over and joining my new team because I didn't like being in the shadow.
Which leads me to my last question, Emma. Out of all the teams in the league, what are the 1 or 2 teams that you really want to hand a loss to this year?
My mom and my dad and my brother, probably.
Ooh, sounds like there's going to be some really good rivalry games this year. Well, that's all the time we have for Emma. Good luck in your first season. Now we're going to go back to Arrowhead where Wally's going to interview another manager from our league.
What's that, Chuck? Oh, Wally's got someone to interview? Okay, well, let's kick it back to Arrowhead.
Yes, thank you, mate. Still don't want to be here. I thought I could leave, but they didn't give me a lunch break. So here we are with the Toilet Bowl loser. We have some questions for you. What is your team name?
Gridiron Warriors. Has been, always will be.
So this is one of the players that will not be changing their names year to year. We have some in the league that like to do that. My vote is that should stop. Okay, here's our first question. You have the number 2 pick of this year's draft. Who are you thinking of going with? we have heard hints and rumors that the first pick is going to be Christian McCaffrey. But if he does slip to number 2, will you be taking him?
You know, I wanted him last year. I probably would have taken him.
Number 2 pick, if he's available, she'll be snatching him. But if he's not, who will you be taking?
At that point, we'll have to look at a quarterback most likely, and I'm not quite sure because there's too many I don't like. So, I don't know.
Well, some reporters would say going for a quarterback first round is not intelligent at all. But we don't know until the end of the season. It might pay off. All right, our second question. How was it losing to your daughter in the toilet bowl last year?
You know, Shaylee really could use a win. So to say I lost, to say maybe I had some grace, gave her the win, probably. Because that's how I am.
Chuck, did you hear that in the studio? She might have just said that she let her daughter win last year and get the first pick. And our third question for our lovely Gridiron Warriors. Who is one person that you would love to just throttle this year in fantasy?
I would say that person would have to be Razor City Cowboys.
Oh.
You know, he always is the reigning champ, and he always thinks he's so good, but I just like to see him pout. So when I beat his butt and he walks around silent and pouting, I know it's a good day.
That sounds like there's some resentment there. They may or may not be married. All right, Jason, I'm going to send it back to you in the studio because I'm tired of being here. This was Wally Wallaby Fitzroy, and we'll see you later. Back to you, Jason.
Yeah, Wally, it sounds like Gridiron Warriors is looking for some revenge against last year's champion, Razor City Cowboys. Now let's switch gears, as I have the privilege of interviewing the second new team in our league, Fletcher Parrish, with his team, Tampa Tom. Fletcher, good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let me get to my first question. What is the one thing you're looking forward to in this upcoming season?
Super excited to be joining the new league, or new league for me. I'm really looking forward to getting to figure out how this league works. I've never played in a league like this before. I remember watching Shaylee last season struggle her way to the finish, but finished nonetheless. And I was always so confused on the points, so really getting that nailed down early I think is going to be crucial, figuring out the league.
Okay, now for question 2. What are the 1 or 2 teams you're really looking to beat this year?
A couple teams that I'm interested in beating. I'm not too keen on beating anybody. I think I'm keen on playing my best ball. But if I had to beat anybody, I really like the idea of coming in early as a newcomer and going for the head, going for the champ. So the reigning champion and the runner-up, I'm coming for you, you know, just to set the tone, a good tone for the year.
Well, all right, you've set your sights pretty high. Now for the last question. With you playing quarterback in high school and the fact that you're picking last in the draft, can you give us some insight on who you might draft? Or maybe what position you're looking to draft from?
That's a good question too. As a quarterback myself, you know, we watch a lot of film and we game plan a lot. I have not been watching enough film, so I think it's going to be a pre-snap decision when I come to that last pick in the first round, followed up by the first pick in the second round. That's going to be challenging. Oh, what position am I looking at down there? Again, I'm going to read the defense, see what the defense is giving me, see what the draft board, big board looks like for me, and then we're going to move from there. Thinking, we want a dynamic playmaker at that first pick, so that's probably what I'm looking for.
Fletcher, thanks for coming on the show, and good luck in your first season.
Thank you for the good wishes on the season, and I'm excited to join you guys this year.
Well, folks, that's all we have for this year's kickoff show. What's that? Oh my gosh, Wally, your mic is still on. What are you doing?
Wally? The camera's still on.
Oh, sorry. Chiefs fans, that's what's coming for you this year.
Well, that was embarrassing. Well, like I was saying, from all of us here at the Rocky Mountain Football League Network, we wish everyone an exciting draft and good luck in your upcoming season.